Hey, what's up, everybody? Restarting this intro, but back again. This time we're gonna read a little, I guess, a book by, or at least authorized by the Department of Justice, National Institute of Justice, both of them, I guess. But this is it's interesting, really. I just read a little bit, and I was like, I might as well read it for YouTube. But I was looking at these. I'm not sure who this artist is, if he knows what he's talking about. I have never seen a pitchfork look like that. The Crips looks like a weird Crips. I don't know what that is. WS, BG. Some of these look like LA gangs. That looks like Six Pointed Star, Black Gangster Disciple. A lot of gangs in Chicago, they have this like wine cocktail glass type of fancy thing. I don't know what BX, that's another Crip. So I don't know where they're getting their inform. I actually look. There's a lot of information. I don't know who. We're gonna get into it real quick. But the book is published by Keith, first edition. No part of this pamphlet may be reproduced in any form or by electronic, mechanical, blah blah blah. We're just looking at it right now. Intro. All right. So the formation of gangs is not a new phenomenon. In the U.S., in the U.S., from the east to the west coast, gangs have taken over our large cities and have made inroads to rural America. No city is immune from gang activity. It has penetrated the core of our existence, today's young people. It's kind of weird the way this guy wrote this. In today's world, gangs have grown more deadly than in the past. In the early years, gangs were neighborhood based and their names reflected this foundation. However, gangs have exported their brand of violence and a way of life throughout the United States. So yeah, anybody that's watching, this is gonna get into literature. I'm just gonna for anybody that might want to skip off, we're gonna get into some like that looks like alien ass language. That looks like another language. I don't know if that's what that's about. What we're getting at. But look at this. Like this is knowledge and stuff going on. But we're gonna get back into that. But we're gonna start with the intro really quick. Um, more deadly in the past. In early years, gang neighborhoods. Okay, wait. Young people. In today's world, gangs have grown more deadly than in the past. In the early years, gangs were neighborhood based and their names reflected this foundation. However, gangs have exported their brand of violence and way of life throughout the U.S. The National School Safety Center News Service reported in their November 91 issue that gangs have released their unforgiving type of terrorism all across our nation. The gang population in the country has reached new levels, with New York reporting 50 gangs within 5,000 with 5,000 members. In New York, 50 gangs. Chicago revealing 125 gangs with 12,500 members. Gangs in Los Angeles reporting 900 gangs with over 100,000 members. Man, they're out there, gang. I think, but I'm not sure about the history. Like, those are the major three, right? New York, they say Florida, but New York, LA, Chicago. You get Detroit, but a lot of those areas, they get like other gangs, like Chicago or LA gangs. There's Crips and Bloods in New York and stuff, and Latin Kings and stuff. That's a lot of gang, man. 100,000? The problem is complex and few answers appear to be at hand. Lack of jobs for these youths and poor parental supervision contribute to the gang phenomenon. Casual factors include peer pressure, intimidation by hardcore gang members, and poor role models. Gang, it says Gang and Gang Awareness 1989. That's what I'm doing this for, awareness. I want everybody should know everything that I feel like everybody should know everything. I just love to share information. I feel like everybody should know everything. Gang members are often underachievers with no real sense of identity. I don't believe that's true, honestly. Like, the low level, yeah, even in the cartel, but there's some high level, like, stuff going on. Organization type, like, law, they got laws and bylaws and constitutions and treasurers and security and a chief and stuff. They try to find their identity within the gang organization. Since most of them are underachievers, blah blah. The most of them, that's kind of true, provides the perfect atmosphere for what they perceive to be important, to make money and gain power. Main one. The gang members usually come from low income families. They also have poor academic record and have either dropped out or has been identi- indefinitely suspended from school. Gangs will be classified as 100% of of the nationality of their gang as a whole, with less than 1% of membership from other races. That's not true, man. It's in LA or New York. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like when you get it, they get like that. But Chicago, we mix, man. We got white people, like the Satan disciples used to be Polish, and now then it turned like right away they let the Mexican immigrants join into the gang, and it became Mexican, more Mexican than white. Used to be a Polish gang. A lot of these gangs, in Chicago. Um, but when you get to more of the black gangs, usually you'll see some Hispanic, and then the disciples they'll have like Spanish gangster disciples, maniac Latin disciples. Those are like majority Hispanic, but they're family, I guess, with other disciples. They're all disciples. But in the gang, members, society, different norms and rules emerge. Any gesture, real or imagined, can be met with harsh and deadly consequences toward rival gang members. All hardcore gang members are willing to defend their turf and their policies to the death. When coming into contact with a possible gang member, it would be best not to show fear. It can never be known whether a gang member wearing colors, is that the right weather? Isn't that weather for like the weather, like the heat? Whatever. But a gang member wearing colors is hardcore or fringe member. A person should not show disrespect or ridicule their graffiti or clothing. Dangerous and violent consequences could follow. The person who wrote this feels out of touch, but I don't know. I hope that this pamphlet will help people understand how gangs destroy their child, their community, and their society. Identifying the problem early could be the answer in fighting gangs. Right. It appears the deeper the gangs are entrenched in the community, the harder it is to solve a problem and break the gang's influence. Yeah, you go to the real hood, you can't break that. Information provided by Frederick Verbora, MS. Gangs in the United States. Disciples. Origin. Chi-Town, Illinois. Some say Illinois. I know it's Illinois. Kings. You got David, Hoover, William, Don D, Shan, Shun, Don Killwill. You got sets. You got the BGDs. 63, 412, 410, 360. Those are all numbers that matter to them, right? Like 360 degrees, right? Insane Gangster Disciples, 36, 720, right? Uh, all these numbers mean something. Types, BGD, Black Gangster Disciples, IGD, Insane Gangster Disciples, WDG, White Gangster Disciples, MMGD, Money Making Gangster Disciples, YGD, Young Gangster Disciples, UDG, Undercover Gangster Disciples, DQueen, Disciple Queen, GQ, Gangster Queen. Ranks, you got foot soldiers, knights, chiefs, generals, duns, never heard of a dun, kings. Colors, black and blue. Clothing, LA, Kings, Raiders, Lakers, Miami. Shoes, K Swiss, Nike, Fila's, Adidas. Gang emblem, six-pointed star, pitchfork, devil's horns, a tail, sword, and a heart. I you I don't really see the tails so much and the hearts and stuff on. I don't know. I don't want to say because I'm not black. No offense to anybody, and I'm not a BD or GD. I've actually met people, like in law people married in, that. But I'm not gonna say nothing. But you usually see the hearts and the devil horns and the tails on the. I'll even look it up. The maniac Latin disciples. Maniac Latin disciple symbols. And these guys are all Spanish. You see, they got the devils and the pitchforks and the hearts and they got swastikas. If y'all don't know, we use swastikas in Chicago for that's King Satan. I think they curve it because it's not like a swastika, like how they and Hitler stole that thing from Hinduism, I'm pretty sure. But you see all the they're still disciples, and people will be like, I never heard of a Spanish or you're not really from Chicago if you never heard of a maniac or a SGD. Look, this kid, look up this video. Look this up. Please look this up. This is the funniest video you're ever gonna see. This kid, he made this, and they say he's throwing up. You see the heart and shit? So he's throwing up. He did this for Chicago, too. He's throwing up pitchforks. But he was crying. He's like, I didn't do it. But, back to this. Disciple talk. Where all items to the right refer to other members as folks. Disciple knowledge. So they got that disciple knowledge, right? Oh, we got a bunch of them. So Vice Lords, Origin, Chi-Town, Illinois, King, John, Sets, Unknown Conservative, Four Corner Hustlers, Cicero Insane, Imperial Insane, Renegades, Undertaker, 12th Street, City Lords, 15th Street, Village, and then Traveling Vice Lords. It's funny. Obviously, I'm Hispanic or Latino, Mexican, Puerto Rican, right? But just as a joke, I'll tell the Spanish gangs that I've meet the gangbangers on me. I'll be like, man, I'm a traveling vice lord, and it'll confuse them, And it's just been like, I've said that for a long time. But respect to everybody, But just being around in Chicago, got to get through somehow. Colors: black, gold, green, and red. I mostly see them right in black and gold or a little bit of red. Ranks: foot soldiers, knights, chiefs, same thing, kings. Clothing: Pittsburgh Pirates, UNLV, Miami. Civil War hats. What? Gang emblems: 5-pointed star, crescent moon, sun, pyramid, cane, glove, circle, fire. Baskin Robbins 31 flavors. Chrysler Star. What the hell? I'm gonna look that up at the end of this video. Look, I'm gonna look it up right now. Can you? If not, I'll skip this part. You'll know if it's not interesting because I'll skip this part. And Baskin Robbins represents a brand of 31 ice. The term Vice Lords refers. I don't know what that means. Vice Lord talk. All items are worn to the left, refer to other members as people. The Crips. Origin: Los Angeles, CA, California, and 69 to 70. Founder: Randy Washington. Sets: indicate local membership, which can range from 10 to hundreds of members. Crips have found around 900 different sets. Their names originate from the neighborhood they occupy. Sets of Crips can be found on page. It's not telling me. Types: OG, Original Gangster, G, Gangster, BG, Baby Gangster, TG, Tiny Gangster. Color: blue. Clothing: Any cap that denotes a LA-based team or is in the color blue. Bandanas, blue jeans. Crip top. Call all their members cuz, all different types of causes. BK, blood killer. B187, that's the penal, yeah, the police code for murder, and any police, I think, penal code for murder in the state of oh, is it? It's just in California? I thought it was everywhere, but 187. Cross out the letters B or P. Street name K-Loke, T-Loke, sexy, gangster. All right, the Bloods. Origin, LA 70 to 71. So after the Crips. So founders, Sylvester Scott and Vincent Owens, known as Pyrus because founded a Pyrus on Pyrus Street in Compton. Wow, so that's why they're called Pyrus. They're found on Pyrus Street. Sets. Same as Crips. Blood sets can be found on page. You're not gonna tell me. Colors red. Clothing red bandanas and caps. Blue jeans. Types same as Crips. Oh, same as Crips. Bloods. Crip killers. Replace the letter C with the letter P or B and crosses out the letter C. C187 refers to other members as Pyru. Street names T-Loke, K-Bone, Gangster, Al Capone, white supremacy gangs. Man, we got everything right here. Types: motorcycle gangs, skinheads, Aryan Nation, Brotherhood, Ku Klux Klan. Mostly motorcycle gangs. They had over here in Chicago, you got Gaylord, Simon City Royals. You got C Notes where like Italian and they're for real like connected to the mafia. Like you can go from I'm pretty sure you can go become a C Note and you might become a mafia member, like the Chicago outfit. Like they're still active. Ideology or origins. Hollister, California, England, 1968. The skinheads, right? They were from England. Aryan Brotherhood, San Quentin Prison, 67. KKK, Pulaski. I used to live off of Pulaski in Chicago. TN is what? TN 86. Aryan Brotherhood, 1865. I don't know. Ideology. Jews, Jewish people control the media and government. Federal Reserve. Blacks contaminate the white race and ruin the economy. Hate in the name of God. They burn a lot of crosses and stuff. So you gotta know that they burn crosses. Distinctive. MG Harleys, tattoos, SH shaven heads. So the skinheads, blue jeans, KKK, white hoods and robes. Yep. Latino gangs date back to the 30s and 40s. Settlements known as the barrios reflect Spanish rule. Colors black and white. I don't what barrios and what gang are we talking about? Black and white. Sets Latino and Mexican gangs reflect their culture and the area they call their turf. Almighty Insane Unknown Nation, Latin Kings, La Rana, Frog, West Side Mouse, La Soma Shotgun. Chicago. Hold on, I'm gonna take a sip of water real quick. But Chicago, man, we're deep with the Chicago. We got La Raza, Saints, 2-6, Satan Disciples. They used to be Polish, but it's mostly Mexican now. Spanish Gangster Disciples, Latin Dragons, Latin Eagles, um, Ambrose, Spanish Cobras. Uh, you got a bunch out here. If you look them up, there's a lot. Like you can look. Let's look. I won't look it up right now, but just look up whatever you want. But clothing. Yeah, Mexicans like khakis. Hispanic people plaid, wool shirt to the top. But this is like LA style. This is not Chicago style. We didn't do none of that. Hair nets. No, we didn't do none. We said clothing that is a size larger. That we did that. Is usually worn. We'll wear plaid out here, but distinctive tattoos are animals, as snakes, spiders, insects, etc. Or life in the barrios or jail. I guess so. Oh, yeah, spider! Okay, so the mafia, the origin, Sicily, late Middle Ages, protection of landlords. You got the ranks. Boss is the Godfather. You got the underboss is the Vice President. You got the consigliere between retired member who is an advisor. The capo regime is a buffer between top and lower echelon personnel, and soldati, button men who report to the capo regime. You got soldier, who's a worker. Yep. You got the families. You got the Gambinos, the Colombos, the Bonanos, Lucchese, Genoveses. So those are the five families. Distinctive. They have the Omerta, code of silence. La Costra Nostra, meaning our affair encompass all the crime families. Crimes, loan sharking, drugs, prostitution, gambling, etc. The El Rukins were out of Chicago. El Rukins. Origins, late 50s, early 60s, Chicago IL. Different names. The original name was the Blackstone Rangers. They started as a grassroots independent voters league. Almighty Black Keystone Nation, Moorish Science Temple of America. This religious organization denies any connection with the El Rukin Nation. Hmm. The present leader is Jeff Fort. Pretty sure he passed away. El Rukin's meaning, son or warrior. Oh. Ranks consist with disciples and vice lords. Crimes, murder, robbery, rape, arson. Oh my god. Extortion, drug trafficking. Distinct. I don't think that's like the grape thing. I don't think that's what they like actively go out and do. I think they even have rules against that, but I'm not. I can't talk for everybody. Distinctive. Ruled by the main 21. All generals, 100% black. Yeah, the main 21 was, I think, the 21 gangs that eventually formed the Black Peastone Rangers Nation. There were 21 gangs originally, I believe, and they all formed a super gang. Identifying factors to gang involvement. Knowledge. Knowledge is the history of a particular gang, usually in question and answer form. It will be numbered to indicate status within the gang. Gang members are required to memorize this knowledge. Pages 6 and 7 are examples of black gangster knowledge. Knowledge may reveal the rank of the gang member. The higher the numbers on the knowledge, the more rank the gang member has obtained. Knowledge. Vice Lord's knowledge is similar to the disciples' knowledge. Page 8 is an example for your parents' viewing. We're on page 4. Distinctive. This is distinctive. This is a distinguishing character. This is a distinguishing characterize that separates one group from the next. You know what? Let me see. I'm gonna take a break real quick. I'll come back. Okay, so just coming back, we're gonna get into since we're going through the Vice Lords, right? We're gonna go into some Vice Lord knowledge. We're gonna go back into this stuff, but so the opening prayer, as the gold may glow, the world shall know that we are Vice Lords, as it says in the Holy Bible, and those who follow the footsteps of the Lord shall always receive salvation. Vice lords were bastards in 1963. Black Peace Stone. Vice lords were I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. But Vice Lords were started in 1939. Black P. Stone, Jeff Fort led under the five-pointed star. So love, peace, truth, justice, Playboy Bunny, and a wine glass. Yep. What's this last one though? What's all this going on? So you got some bricks, right? What's all this about? Oh, so this is the blood stuff. So we're gonna go back up to where we were at, the Vice Lord, El Rukins sets. This is the local group of individual. See, they wrote this weird. Who give themselves a name to separate their group from another group within the neighborhood. The name of the gang will usually reflect the neighborhood in which the live they live, or the name will reflect the history of the gang. They throw up the VL, right? Or no, this is our Black Stone Rangers. So hand signs. Gang members use hand signs to communicate with one another. Disciples, Crips, and Blood hand signs are shown on page 9, 10, and 11. A child will use these hand signs in front of their parents when they feel that their parents are unaware of their activities. That's not true. Unless you're just bad as hell and you're like, what up, Black P Stone, mama? Or what up, Vice Lord? That'd be going up or saying, just any gang. What up? I'm a Crip. You can't tell me what. They don't do that. Most of the time, a lot of kids hide that from their parents. Graffiti. Graffiti are pictures or drawings that parents may see on their child's school books, tattoos, arm or leg casts, or painted on the walls on their homes. I see that every day in Chicago, every single day in Chicago. And or child's room. Graffiti of disciples, vice lords, crips, and bloods, along with selective Latino gangs, will be on pages 12, 13, 14. Okay. Street gang language. The final pages consist of street gang language that a child who is involved in gang activity may use. This could be an indication of a child's involvement in gang activities. Okay. Let's just read this. Actions to be taken by a parent, guardian, teacher, or professional. Initiation and intimidation by gang members. All gangs will initiate by beating in their members. Not completely true. Some gangs you get blessed in. Depending on the gang set, the beating could last from 3 to 5 minutes. The beating entails other gang members hitting the new member anywhere on their bodies for the designated length of time. Disciples will also see they bless in their members. They do this by placing an imaginary six-pointed star in the member's chest and then punching them once in the center of their that's all they need? Only a singular punch? I'm not even saying that's soft because the mafia, don't they make you like pray? Like they do like a prayer and then they burn like a card on your hand. You gotta melt the card. Like I'm not saying that's soft. I'm just saying I didn't know that was the ritual. I didn't know. Is that true? Please leave in the comments if you don't care if that's true or not, you know? Um Cause these gangs, they for real. Once you what are they? Serenios, S13, MS13. I forget. Some of them are for real. Like that gets a little bit weird. That like is more like less original and more they get into like literal satanic worship, right? But if a child reports that they were being intimidating or harassed by gang members, these suggestions should be followed by a parent, encourage that child to report any problem to a person in authority. That person should document the complaint and take appropriate action, i.e., report to the police, the child, parent, etc. If a child has signs of being physically beaten and claims gang members have been harassing him, the story may be checked out thoroughly. What the hell? This could be evidence of gang initiation rather than the result of being a victim of a gang crime. Yeah, depending how bad, I don't know. Like, if you see your kid, you gotta check that out for real. You gotta do something, man. Like, I don't know. Like, what could you do? I'd take my kid out to. I don't know if you take your kid out to school or if you tell them to tough. I don't. Telling them to toughen up isn't gonna help. And some people really can't move out. Like, I was stuck. But I didn't. I just. I you end up fighting people, fighting other kids that are just stupid. Parents should take time to know their child in order to discern if expressed fear is genuine or just an excuse to stay home from school. Okay. When there are warning signs of gang activity, if you suspect a child to be involved in gang activity, check for the following signs: wearing recognized gang type clothing. Yeah, I don't care if your kid starts to be try to be slick and shit. If like the gang colors are black and green, and that kid's wearing black and green every day, you gotta put the belt to that kid. He knows what because the gang colors are black and gold, and you see gold and black everywhere. You gotta put belt on him, man. If he's young enough, wearing recognized gang type clothing, unexplained bruises on their body, runaway activity with staying out all nights with friends, speaking in gang language, gang tattoos on your child's body. Gang tattoos could be positive indicator of gang activity. Possession of gang knowledge or writings, involvement in illegal crimes that have gang connections. Steps to be taken. Collect all hat shirts and knowledge that is gang related. Contact a professional counselor to work on any gang problem. Protect child by restricting activities. Notify local authorities, police, school, parent, guardian. Just me, life in general. Like you see these little girls, like when I was in high school, and they'd have Satan disciples gang drawings on the front of their binders and stuff, and it'd be like a devil putting a upside down pitchfork through a Latin king, on the ground or whatever, and then you have all this stuff, and you'd see that stuff every day, and that's just regular. But girls, like, they fall in love with it almost. I don't know what it is, but it gets them. So check out them notebooks and check out what your kid's writing, and pay attention to your kid. Steps to be taken: collect the hats, knowledge, protect children, restricting activities, notify local authorities, police, school, parent, guardian. What is it? So, excuse me. Black gangster knowledge examples. Phone for 360, 3,006, 3,660. Uh, I can't read that. Ladden, 63rd Street. Where do you live? Uh, something city. I don't know what that says. Hoover is on the wait. Slob and Hell Pets. David is on the. I can't really read this. Satan in the middle of hell. Please, in the comments, if you could read that, what does that say? Hellquash? I don't know what that says. Up the October 18th, 19 Hoover, born in October 18th, 1966. BUN Black BUN Nation is on the planet. I don't know. Uh, three cities and cans. That's not cans. I don't know what this is. Ban. I can't read that. If anybody can read all of this and translate that, please put that in the city. Old city. Hell. City is in hell. The city is in hell. Why are we talking about hell? Please, if you could, please, if you could read this and put that. What are they talking about? Hell. What does that say? Where is it? What does all this say? Hell something. The three cities and something city. The old city. Dunna city. Something city is in hell. City is unknown. Un. I don't know. City is in da da da. Was it about to King of Kings? I think that's King David. 66 folk. S D is opposition. 720. C under standard. 45 neutral. 410 degrees love, 412 degrees life, 420 degrees loyalty, 430 degrees wisdom, and 360 degrees knowledge. What what does this say right here? That's you divide by x, greater less than, equal to z x, 6 pointed star x. That's some for real gang writing. That's some for real stuff right there. Please tell me what that says. If anybody knows what that says, I don't care if you're a cop or something, man. Like any you people already think I'm a police officer or a cop, so I don't really care what anybody thinks. I'm doing this just for um so I don't know about society, but to give not like knowledge and stuff and yeah, just knowledge straight up. But just like what these gang people are doing, database screening. Just to be informed. I'd rather know everything than know nothing. So I was gonna know this stuff either way. Black gangster knowledge. All right, so let's read this. Folk knowledge. How long have you been in the disciples? All my life. Are you in the disciples? No, the disciples are in me. Oh wow. Why do disciples like MC? McDonald's for food, folks, and fun. What? Why did BGD Hoover divide the Red Sea? Because he didn't want to walk. He didn't want to walk on red. What's under the pyramid? A nation of dead vice lords. Who cracked the 8 ball? Hoover. What's on top of the mountain? 30 vice lords. When David fell off the mountain, what did he turn into? A 6 pointed star. When Hoover fell off the mountain, what did he turn into? An eagle. If you were drowning and there was a Vice Lord bandana, a Crip bandana, man, no offense to him, but he could not spell. That's crypt, as in like a crypt from like a mausoleum or a bandana and blood. Or so I'm sorry. Let me reread that. If you were drowning and there was a Vice Lord bandana, a Crip bandana, and a blood bandana, which one would you wear? Would you pick up to save your life? Neither. So nothing. He's just a disciple. Who is your mother? Sheba. Who is your father? David. Is Sheba somebody in the disciple like nation? Cause Sheba, that's a name I'm pretty sure from the Bible. Just like King David, but David is actually a person. And they're the disciples, right? They're the disciples, right? So it's very biblical, right? So let's see, Raiders, ruthless, ass, insane, disciples, ex, to exciting, executing red slobs, Fila, folk in LGE again. LGE again. In Liga again? I don't know. The G. K Swiss. killing slobs when I see some. Uh, Kings. Killing in innocent NIBGCIS against. I don't know what that says at all. N word insane kills ev ever. I don't know what that says. This person couldn't. I can't read it. What's up with that bow-legged dog? He got two pitchforks stuck in his leg. What? What's behind? What does that mean? Anybody, please explain this stuff to me. What's behind the moon? The sun. What, like a solar eclipse? I read this right. This is Vice Lord stuff. They got the 5-pointed star. They got the Playboy bunny. They got the wine glass. Swans bloods. Denver Lane bloods. Oh, so these are like different sets of bloods, right? Villain bloods, Brim bloods, Crips bloods, and bloods. Crips. Oh yeah, so that's cousins. Athens Park boys, APB. These are about. That's the bounty hunters. I heard of them. Mafia Crips. The Kitchen Crips. The Brims. The Pyru sign. Blood. Bishop. So this is some disciple. Terrible looking, but you got the 6-pointed star, right? 6-pointed star. These are probably pitchforks coming out. They got an 8 ball right there. Talk about something about somebody broke the 8 ball, right? Who did they say broke the 8 ball? Hoover broke the 8 ball. I don't know really what that means. They got the 8 ball right there. Pitchforks, Joker. Oh, so they do have some so maybe they do have some hearts and some stuff coming out. What is that? Bricks? I don't understand the brick part. Crip graffiti. Oh yeah, so they got Kalo. Yeah, see, Crip stuff looks very. They got that's not Crip. That's still GD or BGD or whatever. See, that's still GD. So, but um, LA has its very own style, right? It's very blocky and I don't know. I don't really see. I don't know. So I'm not trying to disrespect respect to LA and New York, but I don't see like symbols like Chicago blood graffiti. It's more like letters and stuff. They probably. I know they do. They got symbols. Uh, yep. See street language. Ace cool. Ace cool. I'm gonna start calling people Ace cool. Never heard that in my life. Best friend. Backup. Basehead. Person hooked on cocaine. A Beamer, a BMW vehicle, a Benzo, Mercedes Benz, a Blob, a Crip nickname for blood, a Blood, a Pyru non-Crip, a Bow, marijuana. I never heard that. Boned out, quick, chicken out, book, runaway, break, runaway, breakdown, shotgun. I'm not gonna read all these bud, marijuana, bullet. I'm gonna look at the ones that bumping. What? Fighting. Busted, popped, a cat, a kapot. See, this person doesn't know what the hell they're talking. Chill out. Stop it. Chill out that's really gang language. I say chill out. Dis, no respect. A dis is not just no respect. That means you're like disrespecting somebody. You're going over somebody's stuff. I don't know, 22 double deuce, 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 22, juice lifts, vehicle. They call that a burner. Oh no no no! This is I thought it was a stolen car. Crumbs of cocaine, kibbles and bits. Cool. See, this is some Hispanic graffiti right here. Let's see what this is all about. Chicano. God, I can't read none of that. I'm just looking. See, LA, I love LA though. I respect. That's why I just keep saying respect. They have their own like this type of stuff, like the laugh now, cry later. The gangster with the big brims and the hats and the mustache and I mean, even in Chicago, we got her out here, Guadalupe. Our Lady. I like this though. I'm not promoting gangs, but I'm saying it has its own flavor. It's like the spiderweb type stuff. We don't really do that spiderweb type stuff. Like the letters that looked all cracked and stuff, they do that type of stuff. We don't really do that type of stuff. We do very specific to each, you know, like the 2-6, right? They have a bunny, but that's specific to them, right? They'll have the heart, the diamond, the club, you know, the spade. They'll have 3 dots, but that's specific to them, right? I'm not sure, but LA gangs, when you have like it's all kind of like this. It's all kind of like this. Like it's all similar, but then they have like whatever gang there, but that's just I don't know that stuff, so I'm not gonna get too deep. And I've never even been to LA. Excuse me. I've been have family, and but never been there. Respect to everybody though, everywhere, anywhere, LA, New York, Florida, Detroit, Memphis, Atlanta, anywhere. I don't know if Georgia has people anywhere, you know, anywhere. Aquí, that means right here to look. Mira aquí. C means Corona. IV Street meaning Fourth Street Gang. Oh, four, right? IV is four. Oh, okay. So Corona, Fourth Street. Huh, Persuaders. Los Persuaders? Persuaders? Is that how you say it? A subgroup of the Fourth Street Gang responsible for the graffiti. Yeah, see, it's like letters and numbers and stuff. I'm gonna show you guys some Latino gang rating at the end of this. From Chicago, I mean. Names and monikers of gang members of the gang. Chalo. Yeah, right. Monikers, names. Corona. Corona repeated LS members, meaning locos or crazy ones. R meaning we're the best. Okay, R means we're the best. Locos, we're the best. No mas, meaning the one and only. CS, a symbol meaning consafos. There is nothing you could do about it. Don't touch. Anything you do to this, twice to you. Mhm. Ace, same with if you wanna, I'll go through slow, but scratch, embarrassed. Also, these are like LA terms, right? Right. It's BGD, people, folks, kings. That is not what the Latin King stands for. I don't think delinquent, case Swiss. All right, so let's get to some community solutions. When addressing a gang problem, there are numerous approaches law enforcement, parents, teachers, and community leaders can take in an attempt to solve their problem. In June of 1991, Dr. Irving R. Spergel and Ronald C. Chance wrote an article for the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention newsletter in which they identified 5 different strategies in which a community attempts to fight a gang problem. They were social intervention, suppression, social opportunities. That sounds good. Community mobilization and organizational development. In the survey conducted by Dr. Spergel and Chance, it showed that of the Community survey, 44% use suppression, 31.5 use social intervention, 10.9 organizational development, 8.9 community mobilization, and 4.8 social opportunities, which was the most successful. Excuse me. While most judges, prosecutors, and law enforcement favored suppression, the most effective method for fighting gangs in the beginning stages was community mobilization. Yeah, you got to get out there. The parents, the community, the elders, even if you're a little kid, if you're in elementary, high school, you can do stuff. You can go and support. I mean, people aren't going to let you because you're younger, actually, but you can do stuff, you could just be a voice for your generation and stuff, and try and build a way for your people to get up out of that stuff, Um, a proactive approach to handling the gang problems appears to be the most promising. Law enforcement working in conjunction with the community can stem the tide of gang activity in the community. Yes, because there's so much problems with the police. But I think the voting, you should be able to like vote police officer. That'd be fun. I know that old grandmas and people in retirement are bored as hell, and older people, and that'd be fun for almost for people like old people love to go. Oh my God, the voting's coming up. They would love to go have a list of people that they know or that is listed out or we have like some type of review system like a Yelp review for the police or something, or give me your badge number. There's like a review system or people we just know you in the it sounds because when I was in Brayton Park the best thing was the 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 local security. They weren't even police officers. They just seemed like hood people, that love the community, but just giving out my ideas because I love my city of Chicago so much. I was born here. I lived in the burbs for a little bit, but I would say 90%, 95% is what I really know is Chicago, you know. But let's see what this is all about. Blah blah blah. Proactive approach to handling the gang problem appears to be the most promising. Law enforcement working in conjunction with the community can stem the tide of gang activity in the community. Yeah. The following is a list of five organization and an individual may write to and receive more information on how they can fight their gang problem proactively. Nobody reread these typos, but positive alternative gang education. Honolulu police. This is Hawaii. Juvenile Crime Prevention Division, 1455 South Beretania Street, Hawaii. It's gonna read the first part. The Paramount Plan: Alternatives of Gang Membership. Human Services Department, City Paramount. Dr. Irving A. Spergel, School Social Service Administration. You can just read these. Handbook, Campus Violence, Targeting Programs, Community Based. Yeah, you can read these. I'm just going to go real slow. Gang Awareness, Gang Language, Assistant All Hand Signs, and Mexican Graffiti Operation in Safe Streets. Gang Murals, Gang Membership Crosses Cultural Geographic Bounds, Gang and Unconventional Groups. Spergel Irving suppression, intervention, blah 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 blah. Getting counselors into my mud. Disciples hand signs. Yes, that's the end of this, right? But I want to say to anybody that's gonna say, because I'm gonna keep talking about gangs and stuff, and nobody's gonna stop me. And I call it, you have to call it organizations on here because sometimes the gangs, especially on TikTok, they don't like that stuff. They say stuff against it, but knowledge is power, and the more you know about this, I never joined a gang, and I was surrounded, man. I'm telling you, I was surrounded at it. You know, I'm not even gonna get into it, the specifics of it. I could join. You know what I'm saying? Like, it gets like that. Like people would still recognize me from today. But I'm just saying that, like how this is like informing us. This is like the dark side of society that people are really living in, you know? And I'd rather know what's going on. And the same with my kids. I'd rather like show him point blank the reality of life and what not to do, you know, because especially if you're in a CPS school in Chicago right now, I can't talk about LA or New York or anything, but being in Chicago, that shit was crazy, man. Like, like we were off the chain, man, because I went to a suburb school for a little bit. I moved with my mom. You know, she had to I'm not gonna talk about the family situation and stuff that was annoying, but I moved with my mom out there for a little bit. They don't have metal detectors out there. You can walk in and out of the school if you want to. There's no gangs out there when you're walking outside the school. There's no gangbangers throwing shit up at you and telling you to drop something. You know, there's no fighting. There's no getting shit. It gets crazy. That's outside. I'm just saying that people should know the reality. And also that we're not all like everybody is not a gangbanger in the hood. I chose not to be in that shit. And you know, I had family members that were in that and they told like they saw that I started to get like they'd see like little drawings for my friends in my notebooks and stuff, and they'd see you know, just like sagging of the pants and just dumb being a little knucklehead goofball weirdo. And now if you wear your pants, you just know in prison that means that you want it, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, it just gets like that and it's like it's almost like MK Ultra style type from the top to the bottom. We're gonna because this stuff you don't like it gets into the kids, right? Where it's like you see these little stars and these symbols and stuff and like little girl like not little girls but like girls in high school I went to were in love with gangbangers and in love with like the art of the gangs and stuff, and like I told you they'd have it in their binders and their school, but like girls like you think like the pretty popular girl at your suburb school, she's into what they're into. There's no bullies or that's why like like I'm not trying to be rude, but like white culture, they get into like the jocks, and then they have the bully, and then they have like the preppy girl, and then they have this, or then they have the nerd, and they have um we don't do none of that shit. Either you're cool or you're lame as fuck, or you're a gangbanger, or you're not. You know what I'm saying? And then but even the gangbangers wouldn't I had most of my friends were of every gang, like of opposition gangs, you know, but it's not by like intention, you know, where it's like, oh, like my friend last time was, because I've been to a lot of high schools, just so you guys know, more than five. But like last time I was at a school, like, oh, I hung out with the Kings, so I'm gonna hang out with the Kings again. Or I was with the, well, I'm not, I'm just saying a random. I never hung out with no Ambrose, but oh man, I was hanging out with the Ambrose. So no, it was just destiny and fate that led us to get like just to be either like these brothers stood up for me in real like as a like in some drama, or they were just like buddies, or we were just cool, we just clicked, you know. And I always ran with like little packs, you know. I never had like a gang, you know. It was just me and a pack, you know. Especially in school, I noticed it gets better. Like you get in a pack, and then it's so weird, man. People are so weird. They see you in a group, they start acting different. But what I'm just spouting, I'm just what's the word they would say, yapping or whatever. But that's kind of my style too. I just kind of talk, but I try and keep it focused, you know. And I'm just stressing the reality some of these kids go through. It's way less than what was happening in the 80s and 90s, what like my parents or my grandparents or my great grandparents went through. Oh man, some of my like from the people from Puerto Rico, they had to get sent back to Puerto Rico because they were too much in the gangs and stuff. or or just it gets bad, and then you see your uncles and stuff, they got all these tattoos and they're not like these tough ultra ultimate these dudes walked around the neighborhoods like they had that shit on their shoulders and nobody I know messed with them. They'd walk my uncle, rest in peace. We used to catch him walking around the neighborhood. Ah, he's swinging his arms and y'all know where Nicky's is at off of Western. We'd see him right there, be like, oh, I'm not gonna say his name, but not for any bad reason. I love him with all my heart, man. Rest in peace, man. These are the people I wish were still here, but he had like a cross, and I'm not gonna say how many flicks or what symbols he had around the cross, but you know what I'm saying. He'd walk around the neighborhood and shit. Nobody would say nothing to him. Nobody would like. He was just old as hell. Like old. But Puerto Ricans are fit as fuck. So we'd be walking till we're 80. He walked until he passed, man. So, but but it's just like there's like such a separation that people like in the suburbs have like this imaginary fake fucked up mindset about people in the hood and vice versa also, and that's what I hate, the vice versa part. Like hood people hating stuff. Like I don't hate nobody, but I'm saying the reality of what's going on, like even like my cousins that are like uppity and like from the burbs and stuff, like it's like they have like this like fairy tale imagination of like, oh, so he's from here, he must be this roughneck asshole bully gangbanger, can't have a conversation with them or he gets offended and then he gets violent, um ghetto whatever, like no, man, we're fucking people in the hood, man. We're just regular ass people. And then you'll have some people be like, oh no, they're just they hang out on, they're not real gangbangers, they just hang out on Discord, they're fake. Like no, these motherfuckers are also real too. There's like so much nuances to the gangs and everything and stuff. And then you get deeper. You don't want to get deep into the gangs. These motherfuckers end up on the band, which is the monitoring bracelet that the police give you, and going to jail, and they think that shit's cute, and going to prison, and some of these people that think they're in gangs, they are just psychotic and crazy and delusional. They're not even actually in a gang. Some of these like 40-year-old people, they're not in a gang. They just like they like throwing up the signs and feeling like they're in a gang and stuff. And some of them are. There's some. That's another thing people don't realize, that there is 60-year-old, 58. There's 80. I don't know if there's 80-year-old gangbangers, but especially in the black gangs, you got 80 like old gangbangers. But Mexican too, you got old men that are just that's in their heart. But I'm sharing this all for both awareness and just to think deeper about like the separation people give like the hood or whatever. People treat it so weird, like we gotta break certain boundaries and stuff and barriers and the way people see stuff, and especially with all this technology and computers and cameras and stuff, we got to, because all people think is crazy when you see people talk about O Block or Chicago. All they think about is O Block and BDs and GDs, like there's a giant war and there's just gangster disciples and black disciples going to war everywhere in the city, and no, they're not everywhere, they're in certain areas, because there's not just you got vice lords and black peace stone, you still got stones out here though. And then you got areas where it's uh mostly like either Mexican or Puerto Rican. You got like Little Village, Humboldt Park, but you got like Pilsen is Mexican. Bridgeport is like Italian, white, Mexican, Puerto Rican, a little bit Spanish. Brighton Park is Mexican, a little bit Puerto Rican. Um, McKinley Park, Mexican, I think, and then like might be like some branches off from Bridgeport. Inglewood, that's all black. For the most part. I bet there's Mexican, like back of the yards. I know that there's like, is that's like black, and then it's so crazy. Growing up as a child, riding around with my pops, you could drive through the city. He would drive me around the city just to show me. He would drive around all everywhere. That's just what we do. I did that shit for years and years and years and years and years. As a baby in the passenger seat. But I remember, like, you could see it, you see, okay, so it's all Mexican in my hood, right? And then you drive out, okay, there's black over here. Okay, wow, there's Asian over here. Okay, there's white over here. Okay, now we're back to black over here. Okay, we're to Puerto Rican over here. All right, now we're at Mexican over. You know what I'm saying? It gets like that. Like I think we are the most segregated city in America. And then there's not as many white people anymore, are more up north and stuff. And there used to be more white people everywhere. They all left. It was called white flight. They all left somewhere, and I don't know how I got off in this tangent, but I just want to share. I feel like the more history and the more knowledge and the more you understand the place, like, I mean, I'm saying this for me as a Chicago. I'm born here and doing what I do, especially on TikTok, YouTube every day. It gets deep, you could get deeper, so I feel like everybody should look into everything, because it gets deeper into like the social structure of things. The I like I forgot the exact words. It's like development, like housing development, and like segregation is part of it, and like the way buildings are and the way people are and social. I think that's why I love Chicago, like just all of this in general. It's very like humanity. We got to figure this out, you know. Um, but anyway, I'm gonna leave you guys with that. I want everybody to stay blessed, and yeah, stay blessed, guys. Peace out, everybody. Talk to you guys later.